I'm sure my thing.
So Edgar Redu just sent me a message.
Pressure on me. Me see, I speak to you in this company every day.
So
no, some of them are.
Hold on, no.
That's one of them are for spiritual warfare. That's no crash.
Edgar Redu just sent me a message.
Yes.
He says, "Bra Winston.
Yeah.
How do you say MRI in tree? Domestic Debt Exchange Program.
Imagine.
Coronavirus, COVID-19. Look, I dey wait your response. Say it in Wasa, Fanti, and Tree." Edgar.
I can do the DD in tree.
You do a DD in tree.
Say if you can exercise.
Yeah, domestic debt exchange.
Yeah, debt.
There'll be a technical way for if you go and see Openye Jokum right now, he will say it nicely.
Yeah,
but it will be in a sentence.
Yeah,
it will be in a sentence. I mean, as one who did translation in Efe, and I know that some of these things are in sentences.
As someone who reads the Tree Bible consistently, I understand that too.
Anyway, let's get to our Drive Safe campaign. It's brought to you by Joy News and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Toyota, superior quality and Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. So avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Be visible, drive with your lights on at night. And that's how to drive safe. But what I want us to do really, for all the parents who are listening to us, okay, just ask yourself that simple question. And I started by playing, that the teaser of the man who said his child's worst score was in a Kayaatic tree.
It happens.
And he didn't understand that. How come? The funny thing with me is that all my life, I have never studied any of the Akan dialects before in school. I did Ga and did Ewe. So these are the two languages that I've studied. I've never studied Tree or Fanti. When I tried to go and study Tree, my father said, So I went back to the Ever class, learnt it very well. And today I've seen a lot of my Ever friends sending me messages. I thought one of your parents was Ever. I didn't know. Yes, when you speak a language very well, that's what happens. Anyway, let's learn how to say it right. It's brought to us by Kingdom Books at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either. You say neither, and I say neither, either.
It's 20 minutes to 7 in the morning. Why am I already thinking of lunch? Clearly my metabolism is taking a head start today. Oh, lest I forget, we warmly welcome Wache on the Super Morning Show, so tell your friends. And yes, I said lest I forget, not least I forget. Lest is an old English word which means to prevent or to avoid. He took an umbrella lest he be soaked in a sudden downpour. He kept all his receipts lest he be accused of embezzlement. It's lest, not least. Saying least I forget, or least he be soaked, or least he be accused, just doesn't make sense. Now I hope you noted the way I follow the word lest with the present tense of the verb. Lest I forget, not lest I forgot. That's how you say it right.
Right, that's how you say it right. Let's get into the news review now, brought to us by Enterprise Insurance, Woodie Umumoto Promotion, Enterprise, your advantage. And my friend Kujo Akoto Boating, we all know him, a sent one who is a journalist, says, domestic debt exchange is technically Okafodidi.
I think that's an explanation of the overall objective of the policy.
So if
if it sums it up,
in translation, sometimes if you cannot get it, you go for the overall objective. It's allowed.
Yeah,
okay,
you can do that.
In fact, it's preferred.
So what would be the MRI part?
The literal one.
Yeah,
I think everyone is avoiding that. You should
MRI. Someone will send it right now. In fact, I want to hear it also in Ghana because we're on Ghana land.
MRI.
Yes, MRI.
I say
COVID-19. I want to learn all of these in Ghana, in Ever, and everything. Okay, because when you're doing all of the, it's important we learn all the languages. I want to know.
It's true. Yeah. Oh, it will be interesting that day.
Today's show will be interesting.
Yeah.
Raymond will do a bit of tree later on.
Oh no, there was some time that we were forced to do the entire SMS in tree. And imagine picking up the newspaper and there are some of these words in it. Till you mix it, the man said we should start it.
I think
now,
you should do the front page of the graphic.
No, I've done that. Last 3 years, we're supposed to do it in a Ghanaian language. And I did Akan, Ewe, and Ga. Mix all of them.
I see.
Okay.
Raymond, take us away.
Raymond, take your time.
So,
please.
America, mine. Your friend is saying. No, men ka vice president.
Oman penyina bediachi.
Not was here. Oman penya bediachi. On say your friend say yeah. Ogwa.
Ubechrim.
Now I headline American. So I should.
Do you do it in English?
Please, U.S. Vice President deplores slave trade horrors, and government selects.
That's why you were struggling. Slave trade horrors,
Horror movie there. What came to my no me it's but I know and then I met me. There's another one, and my good friend Abraham Jumaudum. He's on the front page of the graphic. Graphic is doing some Greek forum in Kumasi. Very wonderful development.
The man who turned Nigeria's this thing around.
Yes.
Former member of parliament in this country.
Yeah. A consultant Marco for Foundation, right?
Yeah.
And Onuna Ochechim say, yeah, Kuyayo industry, no.
Speak English. We'll come back.
Simple. Now they say me can. Never come the entire Kuyayo industry. The Franco say NDPC, National Development Planning Commission. I say.
And in the treatment saying.
Omotina say again. Ghana said the beya Fentuo ni enkan ko ebesi no. Sa ku no. Omo ne Franco show mase. Ni enyi free among your for some. Near Jim sa politicians here, who they are Greek and into did he say that's the best way to go?
That's one headline. No?
I explain the headlines when I do that. Why? What's the difference?
You continue in English.
Yes,
we'll come
okay.
back. After the BBC News, we'll do a bit of
integrated aluminium industry. I'm so happy you asked me to do this one. Integrated aluminium industry project on course. This is the last minister Samuel Bujinapo making the point, and that's the biggest story on the front page of the Daily Graphic today.
The front page of the Daily Guide reports NDC race. Dufour grabs number 3. Mahama takes number 1. There's a photograph of Kojo Bonsu, who is number 2. Nana turns 79.
I have seen the Dufour Aseho already.
Yeah.
Immediately the balloting was done, and he goes Aseho.
I think you can pick the.
So NDC will be a third time lucky.
No. Is it what he's saying with the Holy Trinity? I thought the Holy Trinity was the Aseho part.
Mbura, we cannot hear you, but NDC will be a third time lucky.
Yeah.
Because they were lucky in 2016. In 2020, will they be a third time lucky with Dr. Dufour in charge? Aseho.
Yeah.
How about Kojo Bonsu number 2?
Kojo Bonsu number 2.
He has not devised the way yet.
He has not.
In the middle.
Then number 1, JM.
How do you say? JM number 1. Esroho.
Yeah.
Or how do you say that in Golda?
Number 1, they say, you winner.
Number 1, you winner. Okay.
If there's a contest, the one who is number 1 is first. At the end of the contest.
Oh yeah, I haven't told you my story. Years ago, when I was in class 1, I was 20 something in class. I told my father that people had one. It's small. 20 is big.
It's bigger.
So I did very well. Then my father realized that I didn't understand what was happening. It's normal.
Okay.
Some other stories on the front page. Police army clash in Accra Central. Suicide attempt, not crime, is coming from Parliament following passing of the amendment to the criminal offences. So no longer attempted suicide, no longer a crime. Some good news there. Minority fumes over common fund, also on the front page of the Daily Guide.
Now, let me take you straight to the Business Finance. Is actually reporting this morning. Work begins on crucial policy to harness full benefits of that downstream aluminium industry. Banking sector, banking at our doorstep. EcoBank Ghana Post signed deal. And there's the last one about US offering Ghana 1 billion support for women-led businesses. And I heard Evans Mensah do a very interesting analysis that it has actually shaken some quarters. How much, regardless of what we've been saying, in direct monetary terms we'll be receiving from the US compared to other countries? There was one point that Evans said, which many would agree, that we should rather roll out the carpet for China, because the amount of money we have received from China compared to the US own pales into insignificance. But our relationship with the very wonderful things we did for the Vice President of the United States of America, when we needed to do real action, we sent our finance minister rather to go to China. And that relationship, of course, we can look beyond the monetary part and how global powers are arranged. But if it's purely monetary terms, we need to tell the US to come to the table with more, because we've been giving them a whole lot. Our support is now worth way more than it's supposed to be anyway.
You see, we live in a global village, and
Yes.
so you cannot say that you're shutting your door.
That's true.
And so when people want to bring investment into your country, why not? You would open your arms and embrace these people. But the critical question we need to ask ourselves today is that, must everything in this country be about foreign direct investment? Should we always go begging people to bring their monies to invest in this country? How about Ghanaians also investing in this country? Okay, I mean, the last graphic business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting, a board member of Kasapreko made this point, Dr. Sedo. He said, he asked his, owner that, has government called you to offer any assistance in expanding your business? And the response was no. I'm just repeating the words he used at the time. The question today is, what sort of assistance is government giving to Ghanaian businesses? In a country that we say we lose so much as a result of leakages, what are we doing to block those leakages? Okay, and I have said it before, that we can actually, in fact, we can even outsource the collection of duties and all of those things at our ports. I know people will take me on again, but that's the reality. Because we're always complaining about leakages here and there. Yeah. So if we are complaining about leakages, why don't we outsource and say, look, you know what? We want you to raise 100 billion at our points of entry alone every year. If you exceed it, you pay us this. If you exceed the 100 billion, you pay us a percentage of whatever you earn in addition.
Yeah, I think it comes back to the discussion on the extent to which we want to manage our own affairs as against trying to be friends of other nations and expecting help from them.
Other nations, you see, when you manage your affairs and manage your affairs properly. In 1979, look, when the UN started, the permanent members of the Security Council, you know, China wasn't part, it was Taiwan. It was Taiwan. When China was becoming a superpower, they started making the case for China.
So there's some good in becoming a big boy eventually.
You have to.
Means, yeah.
That's what we have to do as a people.
You get better deals as against hoping that the Americans who are your friends will do much better than the Chinese who are equally your friends.
We are valuing the friendship now. They say Americans are permanent interests, not permanent friends.
Of course.
We also have permanent interests as a country.
Yeah, I mean, that's consistent with our foreign policy as well. We take positions as and when.
we have permanent begging.
Quickly on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, then we'll wrap up on this one. Please introduce 24-hour system, district station commands to run 3 shifts nationwide. And that is on fighting crime and transformation agenda. NDC conducts balloting for presidential
does
aspirants.
Does this mean that when you call them at 2 a.m., they will not tell you that they don't have a car and I need to come and pick them up? When there's robbery in my home and I need urgent help.
You are supposed to get someone actually.
Okay,
I've contacted the police at 3 a.m. and gotten assistance before. And the final one, Ghana on course to establishing integrated aluminium industries according to the Lands Minister. The back page, Kotoko face Legon cities today. RTU host only in Tamale. And can find all over Camp Karela as well on the back page. And comes along with the table of the Ghana Premier League. If you're wondering, Eduana Stars is top, Bechem second, has a focus down there somewhere.
Well, let's get to our online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goil Good Energy. So Goil, your oil marketing company of choice, keeps making life so convenient for you. Goil now accepts Momo for all fuel purchases. Just remember to Momo it at Goil, and that's not all. You can also use your bank card. That is all bank cards to buy fuel at Goil. Drive to the nearest Goil station now. Buy your fuel and pay by Momo bank card or Goil Go card. Visit Goil social media platforms, Facebook Goil.official, Instagram Goil_GH, and on Twitter Goil_official for more information. On the service stations, you can conveniently use Momo, Goil, Good Energy, Goil, Yeti. And fuel prices to fall between 2% and 9% from April 1. So I am waiting patiently for that.
Weekend, yeah.
Friday, sharp. Anyway, let's get to the BBC News, brought to us by